all this prep work that I did for tonight's stream, and I still forgot to hit record until right now, and I still forgot to slow down the timing for the stream element spot. Is that hipster style, hipster era Arikado? I mean, I am back in college now, so it's only a matter of time. So, I will wait for Kier to get back with his food, and then we'll start tonight's main event, playing through the original Bayonetta through its PC version, to help build hype for the finally going to release Bayonetta 3 that I've been waiting for ever since it was announced. Playing Hot Witches and Booty? Hell yeah. I learned some, like, genuinely interesting facts about Bayonetta, either through, like, concept art, development notes, or just, like, bits and pieces of official lore that have been sprinkled out involving, like, in-universe measurements and then scaling it based on, like, environments and how that would measure out in real life to find out Bayonetta's approximate height in real life, and spoilers, she's shorter than you think she is. By the way, this song that's playing right now, the Spider-Man PS1 theme, lives rent-free in my head, and it has ever since I was a kid. That's why I had to add it to my starting playlist. Yeah, she's not 7 feet tall. Disappointingly. She's still like 80% leg, but she's not 7 feet tall.
I'm back, and also going back to what Angelic Shiva said about books. Spicy books are nice.
Spicy books are very nice. Speaking of spicy stuff, I finally got around to starting to watch Monster Musume today, and so far so good. Very cultured series.
If anyone in the chat actually has seen it, I'm actually kind of curious about their favorite monster girl.
I've only seen 2 episodes so far, but I'm already hooked on Centaurea. Although I know I'm really going to like Sue, because I like slimes in general.
Stranger danger, you saw.
But you're not a slime, you're a shapeshifter.
I'm a shapeshifter in slime form right now. Oh god.
Yeah, but you're not a natural slime. It's like saying you're attracted to blondes and then someone that bleached their hair pipes up. It's like, silence, brunette.
Watch me end up getting some some fanfic or something about this.
If you do want to post your own fan art or fanfics or other interpretations of something like that, I do have a Rule 34 hashtag on Twitter.
Oh, since when? This is actually news to me.
You like Sue, you like Mia, you despise Poppy's personality, but like her too. Your fave, you forgot who your fave was. My fave design-wise that I've seen so far, just take a peek at some of the later cast, is the cowgirl. Can't remember her name.
I'm into the Spider Girl, even though I have arachnophobia. It's like her personality kind of clicks well with mine, you know?
Yeah. Should you draw Ari in a Bayonetta pose? Please do. Please, I would love that.
Spider is a sadist hot mommy. She is.
And with that, we're gonna switch over to the gaming screen and start up tonight's main attraction. Pun intended. We're playing the PC version, and thankfully I finally figured out how modern Discord handles game sharing on Steam, so hopefully this should be easy to set up. Kier, unfortunately, will not be able to see it running at full resolution and frame rate because I don't have Nitro. But, what are you gonna do? As Knuckles once famously said. In your wickedness, you have broken the ancient commandments. You were caught snooping as usual. I'm demoting you to Scrub Monkey 3rd class. Now go and mop up the dungeon.
But your evilness, it wasn't me, so I can't. I'm using Grounder and Scratch so much.
How caked up should you make me? Dude, it's Bayonetta style, so it's gotta be as fucking cheeked up as humanly possible. Keep in mind that I've also got a cyborg body that's adjustable as needed. So it's open to interpretation how you'd interpret my body proportions.
Expand Dragon Dong.
Expand Dragon Dong. I mean, like, I don't know if Shiba-chan was here for that little tangent last night, but it is in fact canon that ever since I got my cyborg body, I can literally expand Dong to any shape, size, and length that I so choose.
The benefits of being a shapeshifter.
Oh, and it can also vibrate.
That's the only thing I can't do.
We'll be playing on normal difficulty because playing on easy is a fucking insult in this game.
Yep.
Because the easy mode not only removes some of the collectibles, so you can't get, like, 100% completion, easy mode is designed to be so easy that you can literally play it one-handed. I always love this opening sequence.
Long since erased from the records of time.
Also, a little bit of lore that is not, like, ever really properly explained in this game, but you would know it if you check the voice cast, is that this sexy baritone voice narrator at the beginning is Luca's dad.
Paid each other great respect, and their efforts to maintain the balance between them defended the just passage of time. Yet one day, that balance was toppled. The once harmonious clans fell into disagreement and stoked the flames of hatred against each other, resulting in
one of my friends, Cal, who was my co-host last night, has been trying to beat Bayonetta. And they're pretty far in the game, but they're not used to, like, your Platinum Games Kamiya-styled, high-octane, beat-em-up, character action games. And, like, I'm trying to help them out as much as I can, because they're at the 3rd Jean fight, which means they're at the very end of the game, pretty much. But there's, like, only so much you can do and so much help you can give out in terms of strategy without it just amounting to you just have to get good.
Yeah, one of the best things to do is
I've explained that to them, that I don't mean that in, like, the condescending Dark Souls way. It's like Bayonetta is a game that is constantly testing you on how well you have mastered its dodge mechanics and its combo mechanics. And if you get too complacent, it will punish you for it.
Very.
Their victory was short-lived. Fearing the witch's dark ability.
Well, I just saw Shiva's comment.
I can't believe I know another person who likes Dragon Dong while having it in this case.
Little resistance.
We'll talk about this later. Okay, Shiva, we'll talk about it later.
Of their god pushed the witch hunts further. And
Speaking of Dragon Dong, one of my friends, like, casually mentioned to me that, she considered buying something from Bad Dragon, but she's afraid that everything on that site is probably too big for her.
Okay. Just straight up say what I was gonna talk about.
But, like, I'm not afraid of, being a bit upfront about that if I'm not doing a sponsored stream. How big are the toys there? They're, like, comically huge. And, they come in various, like, mythical creature shapes. Like, there's an old Nyanner's video from before she became a VTuber, where, she does an unboxing of a, toy from Bad Dragon while she's wearing a horse mask and a maid outfit.
The thing was as big as her head, if I remember correctly, too.
It was as long as her fucking forearm.
Yeah, I want... Yeah.
This whole opening sequence right here with, the, priests, stabbing themselves, it's never really mentioned in-game, but it does get brought up, in the anime movie adaptation of Bayonetta 1, where it explains that, like, the religious group that is present throughout this game is not, like, the dominant religion of the Bayonetta world. They're a cult that worships old deities. And, they often commit mass, unalives, in order to, give up their presence on Earth in order to give a passage for the angels to come through. Team Little Angels, right there, is a reference to the dev team that made the original Devil May Cry, which was called Team Little Devils. A lot of Devil May Cry 1 staff, obviously including Hideki Kamiya, worked on Bayonetta. So there's a lot of Devil May Cry 1 callbacks in the opening parts of Bayonetta.
Whenever I see Little Angels, I think of, Angels in the Outfield for some reason.
It looks like Humpty Dumpty's taking his last fall. Even old Eggman the Destroyer gets scrambled in the end,
Yeah,
right?
Eggman.
Eggman the Destroyer, very obvious Sonic reference because this game was published by Sega.
You drag me out here for these things. I just drop off the merchandise. Hey.
By the way, I fucking love this character here, Enzo. He's a very minor character that's mostly treated as a butt monkey, but I love his presence. He's basically Joe Pesci in video game form.
He's also best bro.
There's no love.
Not really. He's a very, like, self-serving, conniving guy.
But you gotta keep the outfit happy. We don't take care of him, they take care of us.
Like, it's not very well explained what he does in the games, but supplemental material has revealed that, Enzo's an undertaker for the Mafia.
6 feet under, where'd society be? Of course, the pay's not bad either.
So it turns out Ken Masters isn't divorced and Street Fighter 6 just running from the law. Yeah, that instantly put an end to all the jokes about Ken being divorced and homeless.
Hold on, wait, he's running from the law?
Yeah, as part of Street Fighter 6's as of yet unrevealed plot.
The way this guy's meeting the Lord is if God's hungry for breakfast.
I think I'm going to have to pick up Street Fighter 6.
Speaking of hungry, we done here? My kids are baking me a birthday cake tonight. Cute little fuckers, I tell you what.
Hey, cute little fuckers.
Well then,
Yeah, his kids' names are Ed and Edna.
what the fuck? They're here? This douchebag?
By the way, the guy that voices Enzo in Bayonetta 1, who did not return to reprise his role in Bayonetta 2, and unfortunately, I think it was last year he passed away.
You hear it?
He was also a regular on Animaniacs.
They are instruments.
Really?
He was one of the good feathers.
to earth.
Oh yeah, he was the angry one.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, grant us guidance and keep safe the souls of our loved ones for all eternity.
So I'm about to shatter a lot of people's images of what Bayonetta would be like in real life. One intrepid fan of Bayonetta and Platinum games in general played through the wonderful 101, which has Bayonetta and Jean as unlockable characters. Their character stats screen shows their measurements measured in a fictional unit with an undefined conversion rate called magical units of measurement. They then compare Bayonetta's scale, which is all sorts of fucked up, but the most consistent shots of her compared to real-world objects seen in the background, to find as accurate of a conversion rate for magical units of measurement to centimeters as possible, to determine what Bayonetta's height would be in real life. And they also provided conversion to feet in inches for us dumb Americans. Bayonetta is, if you take off her heels, is only 5'6".
Come on, it's my freaking birthday!
Yeah, the joke for Street Fighter 6 character creator is Waifu Fighter 6.
Oh, shit, forgive me!
You know damn well the PC version's going to lead to all sorts of fucked up mods.
That's the one I'm gonna get.
Rodan here, he is best bro.
He's awesome as hell.
Next time you want your hands on me, you better make sure I'm dead.
He's also canonically like one of the most powerful characters in Bayonetta.
Yeah, I've seen the fights. They're insane.
Not even the optional boss fights against him, where he's always the game's secret super boss. But there's a segment where you get to team up with an AI-controlled version of him in Bayonetta 2, and he just one-hit kills, like, mini-boss enemies. Not even by punching them, but just by stomping the ground in front of them.
Little angels deserve a good spanking.
I can tell you, none of my OCs are that strong.
Lore-wise, it makes sense for him to be this strong, because he used to be an angel.
Yep.
Like an archangel.
I mean, like, even my strongest characters, the only way they can not move and kill you is either by boiling your blood, suffocating you from a distance, or if you have a weak enough heart, stare you down to death. None of my characters are that strong compared to Rodan.
So, another bit of Devil May Cry reference here, and also sort of a take that at Devil May Cry. These, shitty little pistols that keep on breaking over and over again that Bayonetta uses here. They're Dante's pistols, Ebony and Ivory. They're just endless copies of Ebony and Ivory that break over and over again. Because Bayonetta is too powerful for Dante's custom-made pistols for demon hunting. Death by Snoo Snoo. By the way, since I said she's only 5'6" without the heels, with the heels, she's 6 feet tall.
One thing I love about the opening is this is one of the most how do you make a pop English version of Fly Me to the Moon this dope? And it's metal without being metal.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure most of us, our first take of Fly Me to the Moon was Evangelion.
Which
was
I
originally-
still haven't seen.
Yeah. My second. This
But
is my
I've
third.
heard the version of I've heard the version of Fly Me to the Moon from it. Funnily enough, from a video of the IKEA shark being put inside a dryer, and it's just rotating through the dryer while Fly Me to the Moon plays.
Yeah. There's like 3 different versions of Fly Me to the Moon as well that's played. But this is my favorite version next to the original Frank Sinatra version. The Evangelion one is my third favorite.
This game doesn't play the original Frank Sinatra version, but it does play
Yeah.
another old version during the end credits.
Yeah, this is my own personal take, and you know, being a musical nerd.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a soft spot for Big Band and Swing.
Well, this is more of a lounge ballad
Yeah.
in its original form.
Mixed with a little bit of jazz, which is nice.
Yeah, this one plays it up as like very electro dance pop sound, almost. With some fucking angelic sounding vocals.
Yeah.
That also managed to sound like vaguely sensual on top of it to fit with Bayonetta's personality.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Exactly. It really is.
It's also why like Bayonetta 2 soundtrack doesn't live up to Bayonetta 1 for me solely because it doesn't have Fly Me to the Moon in it.
Yeah. Unless they would have
Instead, instead of Fly Me to the Moon, that game's theme is Moon River, which is just not as instantly catchy as Fly Me to the Moon.
I mean, Fly Me to the Moon is a classic.
Fun fact, if you're playing the Switch version, if you use either of the princess costumes, the halos are turned into Mario coins, and if you use the Link costume, they turn into rupees.
Ah, what about Samus?
You don't get any item changes with Samus, but you can raise and lower the visor, and the Panther transformation is turned into the Morph Ball.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, and you get the arm cannon, too, which is rapid fire rather than letting you charge. Because the charge is something you have to buy separately.
Makes sense.
And, as far as the only other Nintendo costume we've gotten, which is, the Star Fox costume, that has an entire alternate gameplay sequence if you wear it during the last chapter of Bayonetta 2.
Ooh.
And it also changes your guns into handheld R-Wings. Changes the lock-on cursor to the Star Fox lock-on cursor and gives you instant access to the charge shot.
I like that. That sounds really badass.
Yes, and when I say alternate gameplay sequence, I mean, like, you know how, both Bayonetta games have like, flight simulator sequences that are based on old Sega arcade games?
Yeah.
Like, Bayonetta 1 has a sequence based on, what's it called? Space Harrier. Bayonetta 2 has a sequence based on Afterburner. But if you're using the Star Fox costume, it turns into Star Fox.
Nice.
Like, not just in terms of, instead of flying a fighter jet, you're flying an R-Wing. Like, it just straight up becomes Star Fox in terms of how it plays. Like, you get the smart bombs, you get the, your Witch Time becomes the not Witch Time, the, Umbran Climax, becomes the Hyper Shot. You could barrel roll. Yeah, in the Link costume in Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2, if you discover secrets, it plays the Puzzle Complete jingle. And in both games, those games' respective sword weapons turn into the Master Sword. And it instantly equips you with a game-breaking accessory that is normally super expensive in both games, that basically gives you a parry move in addition to your dodge.
Ooh. I really hate those birds.
The Hylian shield.
I hate those flying enemies a lot, so.
They're not that bad. What I have more trouble with is, like, the ones that, like, circle around a larger flying head. Those ones usually give me issues because they can generate shields.
For a moment, I thought you was going to say the quadrupedal ones.
The quadrupedal ones are,
toward the middle end game.
Problem for me. Like, they constantly give me shit. There's so many different angel types in this game that I just don't bother to remember all their names. Especially, once you get into, like, palette swaps for them that are increasingly strong.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same ballpark.
I'd hardly call the Hylian shield game-breaking with the precise timing needed. It's game-breaking in the fact that once you figure out the precise timing, you can easily just not take damage. Ever. I always make sure to go through and destroy all the tombstones, because some of the tombstones, like right here, have halos inside of them.
I never knew that.
Something this game does with the Angel Attack minigames that doesn't really tell you is, depending on the percentage of the in-level collectibles you get, as well as your end-level ranking, gives you extra bullets for the Angel Attack minigame.
Interest. Oh.
Like, you can find Angel Attack bullets as hidden collectibles, but you get way more of them just from exploring.
Haven't you figured it out yet? There's no quarter for you in this world.
How do you feel knowing that Dami Mommy Bayonetta is probably shorter than Lumi? Without heels, of course.
Oh, man. I wish they were the same height. You overestimate my ability to precisely time inputs.
Like, I've been playing Platinum games since Bayonetta first came out, so I've gotten somewhat good at precisely timing button inputs, especially better now that I've learned how to adjust for TV input latency.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near as good as I used to be. Like I used to play a lot of fighting games. I play a unhealthy amount of Soul Calibur 3 and 4.
For even touching these toys.
Soul Calibur 3 especially had those QuickTime event endings that gave you a good or bad ending depending on whether you did the QuickTime event.
Yeah, I got stupid good because of those.
The one that always gave me trouble was the Nightmare QuickTime event ending, because you have to, like, rapidly press the X button, but it doesn't tell you, like, give you any indicator of whether you're doing it right or not.
I had more issues with Zasalamel with the clock thing coming at you.
Yeah.
That one, to me, was the hardest one.
By the way, it's so disappointing that Soul Calibur 3 hasn't gotten a re-release in any form. It has, like, if I've said this before, but I'm saying it again because I love Soul Calibur. If we could get the character creator versatility that Soul Calibur 5 and 6 introduced, with the unique custom character classes of Soul Calibur 3, so you don't have to play as just a model swapped version of an existing character in the roster. It would be the best character creator in any fighting game ever.
Yeah, I missed the one that lets you use the kicks.
Oh yeah, God, I can't remember, what... Grieve Edge, that's what that weapon was called. It was called Grieve Edge.
Dude, it was underrated.
That was my favorite to use, too.
I will admit, too, it was kind of cheap, similar to Maxie's nunchucks. but I will say, it required more skill, at least.
Yeah.
So there's at least that.
By the way, music playing on the car radio is from, Outrun.
Forget about
Huh.
Enzo, the road. Pay attention.
How can you be so calm? You're still getting screwed in all this too. Of all the low-life scum in too deep in this town, I've never seen one get wrapped up in a fight with God's messengers.
That would be terrifying if that happened in IRL.
Yes, it would.
When you end up in the afterlife, that's not going to be pretty.
It was actually hilarious.
Hell, I had a much more minor version of that happen not long before I got into the call with you. Not car related, thankfully, but one of our house guests was toasting some buns for a barbecue sandwich in the toaster, and the fucking lever for the toaster just fucking broke off.
Oh god.
It's really getting screwed.
I was gonna say the closest thing I've seen that happen, besides the cars that have the detachable steering wheels, like the BS Shimano. A kid was in one of those cart things, and a wheel came off on it, and all you see them is just bashing the wheel back on, laughing. They're like 2 or 3, so yeah. How does that work?
It's gonna get you close to
While this cutscene's going on, I'm going to delve a little bit into the inspiration behind Bayonetta's character design in this game. First of all, the fact that the source of all of her magic summons comes from her hair, comes from old European folklore about witches using their long hair to conjure demons.
Too bad. I can't stand.
And her hair being styled in this, like, beehive hairdo that she has in this game is supposed to evoke the look of a classic witch's hat.
Yeah, the witch's hat is the one I remember you told me about, but I didn't know about the hair.
They delved into a lot of obscure folklore about witches to make Bayonetta as unique of a character compared to other video game witches as possible.
I should totally cosplay Bayonetta, shouldn't I?
Yes, you should. Also, now that Jean is here, if you thought that Bayonetta was disappointingly short, Jean is less than a centimeter shorter than Bayonetta. And I'd like to think that Bayonetta would be extremely petty about that.
Let me ask you this: Bayonetta 1, 2, or 3, John hair, do you like better?
2.
I don't know.
Mostly because I can't remember what John looks like in Bayonetta 3.
Same here, I'm not gonna lie.
I like the contrast between the hairstyles in both games, but I feel like the Bayonetta 2 hairstyle is just more aesthetically pleasing for Jean.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to the point where I really like Bayonetta hair. Bayonetta 2's hairstyle, the short hairstyle, better on Bayonetta. And then when I'm seeing the like pigtail coming down, I'm like, oh god, I love it. I hate it. I don't know.
I like that. I love that hairstyle that she's got in Bayonetta 3, that Bayonetta has in Bayonetta 3, because it's the same hairstyle that young Cereza has in this game.
Yeah. That's why I have mixed feelings. I love the callback to it, don't get me wrong. But for an adult, it just feels kind of weird, you know?
I mean, lore-wise, I thought the shorter hair for Bayonetta 2 was a little weird. Because all of her magic is derived from her long hair.
All I gotta say is I like the shorter hair, and the reason being, it gave her more of a dominating look.
Dominating.
Yeah. I just tend to like that Dami Mommy look a little more.
Yeah. Definitely gives off more of a Dami Mommy look, but like lore-wise, I think Bayonetta looks better with long hair.
Yeah, lore-wise, 100%. Can't wait to play as Viola.
Yeah. It's about time that the Bayonetta series got its Nero.
Can you play as Luca in Devil May Cry? Devil May Cry, fuck.
Luca has never been playable because he's not a fighter. He's a journalist.
I know, but I would love to do an escape scene with Luca. I figured that would be kind of fun.
Also, I like how very subtly different Bayonetta and Jean's overall demonic motifs are that represent the demon that they have their pact with. Because in Bayonetta lore, like, once an Umbra Witch completes their training, they form a pact with a demon of their choice, as long as the demon is, like, you know, agreeing to it. And that's where the source of their power and immortality comes from. Bayonetta's pact is with a butterfly demon named Madama Butterfly. While, I can't remember the name of Jean's pact demon, but it's a moth demon.
Oh.
So, Bayonetta, like, when she double jumps, she sprouts butterfly wings. She has an overall butterfly motif. Even her shadow has a butterfly, has butterfly features.
I didn't think about that.
While Jean's, not just Jean's demonic attacks, but even, like, the tassels hanging from her guns are supposed to evoke the more fluffy look of a moth.
Even harder with Purgatorio in the middle. Fight long enough.
I have a question though.
Really lose.
Couldn't you defeat Jean with a electric light?
It's a balance, right?
Yes. I mean, Jean is not a moth herself. She just draws her power from a moth demon.
I mean, as I said, like, you could basically render her powerless by using a electrical light and killing the demon that way.
Maybe. I never thought about that. Someone should try that.
Not me.
Something's up. Everything was a bit too bracing. And Enzo's tip makes the timing too.
With my luck, I'll probably end up being a dad.
Also, fun fact, Jean has a day job, canonically. When she's not doing witch stuff.
Present for you.
Would you like to know what that is?
These babies are special.
Of course.
She's a high school teacher.
Built from an alloy the devil himself would kill to get his hands on.
That's kind of dangerous, you know?
Don't break these.
Yes. And on top of that, she also canonically has a superhero alter ego that she uses to fight crime called Cutie J. Obviously inspired by Cutie Honey.
I like Cutie Honey, actually.
Cutie Honey's... I haven't seen Cutie Honey, but I know it's got, like, a huge impact on anime and manga. Like,
Yeah,
it's
mainly-
the original magical girl.
Yeah, also,
Created by
Fun-
Go Nagai, the same person who gave us Devilman. And Mazinger Z.
fun fact, the more recent versions of,
Calling me out.
Cutie Honey's song,
I don't go
Uh,
for strange offers.
Koda,
Then again,
I believe she's Korean,
heard of these weaklings, they
sings the opening theme song for it.
maybe I should
Cool.
aim for something.
It's
Did you know
really
that,
good.
Did you know that they recently kickstarted a English dub for the original Cutie Honey?
Really?
And Cutie Honey's English dub voice actress, who's been voicing her in the more recent stuff, who you may know, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but you may know her as the original voice of Excel from Excel Saga, and as the dub voice of Zoe Hange from Attack on Titan, is going to be reprising her role as Cutie Honey.
Nice.
You deadbeat motherfucker.
Cutie Honey, it's like, if I had to put it in words, classy, lewd, magical girl. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
I mean, Go Nagai, he made all sorts of stuff that was lewd, family-friendly, super violent.
Yeah, like Cutie Honey has
Like,
lewd.
he was extremely influential in the 70s and 80s anime and manga scene, not just because of like him pioneering a lot of genres, but because he dabbled in so many different markets of anime and manga.
Yeah,
Like
what
the
I
same
mean,
dude that gave us the classic giant robot series Mazinger Z gave us Kekko Kamen, which is cited as one of the first ecchi anime to go mainstream.
Yeah, like my whole thing with Cutie Honey is like, you have good action scenes. The romance between the male and female lead is actually genuinely sweet. Like, it's just genuinely good.
By the way, the name of the Angel Attack minigame is supposed to be a reference to Evangelion. I don't get the reference because I haven't seen Evangelion.
I don't remember, because it's been way too long.
The closest thing I've seen to Evangelion is that, PSA that, the original voice actors of Shinji and Asuka did to promote safe sex in, Austin, Texas, that, was considered lost media for a while until, Asuka's voice actress uploaded online, where, like, they used the voices of Shinji and Asuka, and it's, like, narration about, like, how these two teens who are fucking right now are unknowingly infecting themselves with AIDS.
Lord have mercy.
And, the reason it never aired publicly, which is why it was so hard to find, was it was banned from broadcast because the noises they made sounded too realistic.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So,
But yeah, that's the closest thing to Evangelion that I've seen. Also, Spike Spencer's an anti-vaxxer piece of shit.
the right eye. Saying it's part of some
He's the original voice of Shinji, and he also voiced Arachne from
what you're after, don't it?
Blaze Blue. And he's, like, gone down the anti-vax rabbit hole, and uses, like, anytime you call him out for being an anti-vaxxer, he always, like, does all these mental gymnastics to try and call you a racist for not being concerned about how the Australian government is totally using Aboriginal people as lab rats for the COVID vaccine.
Where the guy is.
And I'm like, okay, just say Just say you don't. Just say you think vaccines cause autism, and stop pretending that you have a moral high ground here.
Oh, I would love to get one of those because two things I can say. I'm Black and Native American, so again, where you want to come at from that high ground, son? You might want to sit down.
One of my favorite lore details that works as a game design shortcut in the Bayonetta series is the entire concept of Purgatorio, the dimension between the Trinity of Realities that all the action of Bayonetta mostly takes place in, because it means that you can have NPCs without having to fully render them, as you see here. That way you don't have to worry about too many things being on screen at once and slowing everything down. God, I have so many things that I can just gush about as far as Bayonetta mechanics go, but I'll try to only get to them when they pop up. And one of them is right here, where as soon as you get to Vigrid, you have... Like, you can either go straight for the path that leads you to the rest of the level, or you could just go around and practice your moves while also destroying scenery and gradually, like, being introduced to more mechanics. Like right here, you destroy all these benches and chairs, you get ingredients that are used for crafting items.
You also scare the shit out of people, too.
Yes, that's another thing I love. Like, it teaches you always break stuff, because there may be items hidden in them. Without having to straight up tell you in a text box, destructible objects may contain helpful items inside of them. Another thing, and this is something I didn't discover until years after I originally played Bayonetta on the Xbox 360, when the Wii U version came out, is if you stay in this opening train area, and you destroy all of these benches, the train leaves and gives you your first Broken Moon Pearl. It serves as a way to teach the player, hey, there are environmental triggers in this game that can lead to you discovering hidden power-ups.
I think I did that only once, and I never did it again.
Yeah, the specific thing that triggers it is destroying all the benches.
Basically, it means stop waiting.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and drop a little criticism here. I don't like how Bayonetta 1 handles magic, because it's barely utilized. Bayonetta 1 compared to Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 uses your magic meter basically the same way Devil Trigger works in the Devil May Cry series. Bayonetta 1, it's literally only used to give you the ability to execute torture attacks when it's filled all the way up.
Yeah, there's better ways to implement it.
It doesn't give you a really good idea of just how vast Bayonetta's magical power is, and it's also like an entire gameplay mechanic that you really don't have to pay attention to, because like you keep collecting these broken moon pearls to fill up your max magic meter, only for it to ultimately not really mean much, because all it amounts to is, oh, you can perform a one-hit kill quick-time event attack when it's maxed. And you can't use it on, like, any of the mini-bosses. I also like how this game very clearly delineates where, like, what's an interactive object versus what's just set dressing. Like, those doors right there are very flatly textured, so you know, just by looking at them, they don't open. But you see this big, fancy, glowing gold wall here.
Yep.
That sticks out like a sore thumb. It looks like it doesn't belong there. So that's how you know that's where you're supposed to go.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was down there.
It's required to progress. But I like that you can use the key as a weapon.
Yeah, I remember. I just haven't
This is,
seen
I think, the only place where you can use the key as a weapon. But it's cool.
She's cosplaying Sora. Actually,
I mean,
Mickey.
She uses it like a club, like Sora does in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah, but truth be told, more like Mickey, because Mickey had the golden Keyblade.
Yeah. Then again, Sora has tons of Keyblades.
Yeah. Well, keychains to make the Keyblade, but yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Something that the, another little tidbit about the, Nintendo costumes in the Switch version that I can't show off here because I'm not playing the Switch version, is when you're using either of the princess costumes, which are the, Daisy and Peach costumes, they both have the same effect. They're just, like, palette swaps of each other.
Yeah.
But their main effect, other than transforming the halos into coins, is, they change the, standard Wicked Weave punches and kicks from Madama Butterfly's, fists and feet into Bowser's fists and feet.
Ooh, nice.
And Bayonetta 2 makes even better use of the Nintendo, the access to Nintendo characters by, you wanna know what the very last secret weapon you unlock in Bayonetta 2 is by beating the game on the hardest difficulty?
Let me think.
And it's not even something that's like a model swap of an existing item. It's its own unique weapon.
A Yoshi.
A Chain Chomp.
Oh.
It's a Chain Chomp that is still alive that you wear on your leg. And you know how, like, Bayonetta, collects these new weapons by bringing golden records to Rodin?
Yeah.
And each golden record has its own unique, classical music piece on it.
Mm-hmm.
The music piece for the Chain Chomp record is Bob on Battlefield.
That one, right?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Bayonetta 2 is one of those, Wii U and Switch exclusives that I think really benefited from Nintendo exclusivity. It didn't exactly utilize the hardware the best. but just access to Nintendo crossover stuff made it so
Yeah.
cool. Another feature that I like of this that I'm not really going to be showing off is if you hit the select button during any loading screen, you can pause the loading screen and use that as an area to practice your combos in.
Ah, and I just saw you meant by the shadow.
Yeah, her Shadow has butterfly wings.
Yeah. It's
In fact,
easier
her
to see
Shadow
it here.
is Madama Butterfly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's easier to see it here due to the more light and contrast.
This is more obvious to notice in Bayonetta 2 when you actually get multiple good looks at Madama Butterfly.
Yeah.
Whereas in this game, you mostly just see her fists and feet. Ha! That was a Devil May Cry reference I just picked up right there. That tombstone, which is one of many torture attacks you can execute that, like, randomly spawns an object, that tombstone said DMC on it. By the way, one of my favorite things about Kamiya is that, like, even though he left Capcom on pretty sour terms, he's still, like, very respectful of Capcom. And, like, the legacy of what he did there. To the point that, like, you know, the meme about, like, Kamiya blocking every fucking person that tries to talk to him on Twitter?
Yeah.
There was an instance where he genuinely blocked someone on Twitter because they made him mad by insulting Capcom while praising Platinum Games. And, like, the thing he said to them instead of just blocked or ask your mom was, "Don't you dare insult my former home."
Hey, Nico.
Hey, Nico, I will hydrate as soon as I get a downtime from this section. I hope you're doing better, Nico. I heard that your eye closed up, so you're not going to be able to get those cool glass eyes like you wanted.
Oh, man, I'm
But
sorry to
in
hear
general,
that.
I hope you're doing well. Hopefully, within the coming weeks, I'll finally be sending you that action replay, and I'll be sending Tashai the spare laptop. And Hydrate has been redeemed, by the way. So I have hydrated, and because I'm trying to hydrate from a 2-liter bottle, I fucking spilled it down my face like a fucking baby.
We can't have a wet t-shirt contest, dude.
You say this when in real life I am wearing a white t-shirt.
Oh, God. Yeah, even we can't have a wet t-shirt contest. That's not Twitch friendly.
I mean, if you can get away with having sex live on Twitch without getting permanently banned, then is there even a point to having TOS rules for sexuality? Shy Lily gets a week-long ban for undisclosed reasons, while that one person who had sex live on Twitch gets just suspension and doesn't get permanently banned.
The right eye. Even I have issue. I don't have nothing that bad. Sigmatism.
By the way, sorry, Tanner.
Sorry.
Just wanted to talk about, like, a recurring mechanic through a lot of Platinum games that originates here. is that they really encourage backtracking as often as possible, because you can find extra fights in previously explored areas that help you get a better ranking at the end of the level.
Ooh.
That's a thing in Metal Gear Rising. That's a thing in Bayonetta 1 and 2.
I gotta see if that's a thing in Legend of Korra now.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, if you ever beat a level and you see that you're missing entire ranked sections, that's stuff that is optional that you have to backtrack in order to get.
Yeah, I need to double check that.
There's one in this small area right here that teaches you, if you happen to go back there, that, hey, maybe you should go back to previously explored areas before advancing forward. Because you can find hidden stuff there that doesn't spawn until you progress to certain areas and certain flags are triggered.
Closer to Paradiso than anyone should ever be. And that shit just plain creeps me out. I guess I'm gonna have to set up shop here and score me some halos.
Also, just another design, another bit of design that shows up repeatedly in Platinum games that has been confirmed by one of the designers for Astral Chain, is that in every Platinum game, they try to put in at least one character who has a nice ass.
So fond of you.
Real
I have a
thing straight. Your fights are
a question.
Yes?
here to watch my
Who is Radon based off of, like, design-wise?
ideas about coming to
I have no idea who he's based off design-wise, but his name comes from a French artist. I think he was a sculptor.
Because he looks like a more buffed-up version of Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, yes.
I don't really see it.
Cap in your ass.
Ah, I do.
There we go,
Your
Bayonetta
ass!
proving.
There we go!
Yeah, Bayonetta proving that posh British accent can make slang sound classy as fuck.
Let's see, I love the explorability of Bayonetta and DMC3. That explorability makes me wonder why no one besides old Konami has ever taken a crack at making a stylish action Metroidvania, perhaps DMC-vania. That's by
I mean, the closest we've gotten, like you mentioned, old Konami, with Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness for the PS2. They were Castlevania There were attempts at 3D Castlevanias aping the Devil May Cry combat formula with the Symphony of the Night style exploration. The problem they ran into is that those genres don't mix very well. Like, you can easily have open explorable areas in character action games. Devil May Cry 1 through 3 and Bayonetta 1 easily show that off. The problem you run into is having to balance the game around being able to access multiple open areas in any order that you wish to venture through without just beef gating and essentially making it pseudo-explorable when it's actually linear.
Yeah.
It's a balancing nightmare, and character action games, people very quickly figured out, are at their most fun when you're constantly moving forward instead of having to backtrack to previously explored areas. Like, it's an idea that I think Platinum might be able to pull off if they had the proper budget for it, because, like, one of the downfalls of a lot of Platinum games is that they typically don't get very big budgets. Bayonetta is one of their highest budget series, and even then, they have to cheap out on a lot of the cutscene presentation by doing those still frame shots.
Yeah.
Like, the highest budget games that Platinum's ever gotten to work on, to my knowledge, were Nier Automata, and disappointingly enough, Scalebound.
Yeah. Yeah, yes and no. I would say for
Metroidvanias are typically semi-linear. Yeah, like, they're not complete open-world sandboxes. And they still do funnel you down like a good beginner path. But a lot of Metroidvania, a lot of what makes Metroidvania stand out from other games that have explorable environments is that it encourages and requires a lot of backtracking to previous areas that were blocked off by an ability or upgrade you didn't have. That's something that doesn't translate very well into the 3D character action style, because it slows down the pacing too much.
Yeah, one thing I also would love to add about Metroidvanias, a really good Metroidvania will also let you experiment, and sometimes rewards those that understand the game mechanics well by letting them get to other areas much earlier. That's why I went, somewhat.
Like, obviously, Metroidvanias are not completely non-linear, because then it would just be directionless.
Yeah.
Or at least good Metroidvanias are not completely non-linear. I say that as I finally beat the original Metroid, and boy, does that game do a shit job of telling you where to go.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to previous Metroid games, I get, obviously, as the first in its genre, there's a lot of growing pains.
Yep.
But, like, there's a reason why everyone says if you want to experience Metroid 1, don't play the NES Metroid game. Play Zero Mission. But, like, it's a very hard thing to pull off effectively. It's more the reason why no one's really attempted it except for old Konami.
I need to
and
finish
when they tried it
playing-
again with the Lords of Shadow games, even then they lean more into the character action than the Metroidvania elements. Like, the most you got out of Metroidvania element in Lords of Shadow 1 was like health and magic upgrades that were locked behind power-ups you get as you progress through the story. So, like, you would have to backtrack to previous levels in order to get just those few hidden items. Or, like, you would be able to skip entire chunks of replaying a level now that you have a new weapon that gives you what would previously be an ability you would have to go through a whole rigmarole for.
Mm-hmm.
Lords of Shadow 2, for as many problems as that game has, handled the Metroidvania elements a lot better. By, having two separate hub worlds for you to explore that have their own hidden goodies in them.
So it's a design problem. That design problem seems far from impossible.
It's not far from. It's definitely not far from. It's definitely not impossible to solve. It's just like, is it really worth it to try and solve it for a lot of these publishers? Because Metroidvanias are a much more niche market than character action games are.
True, and I myself prefer 2D ones. That's just me, though.
And at the same time, like, apart from Metroid and Castlevania, you're not really going to reel in, and maybe Bloodstained, you're not going to reel in that many people to Metroidvania that's not part of an established Metroidvania franchise.
Yeah.
At this point. It's called Metroidvania because there were really only 2 series that ever did it.
But yeah, I do, Kobo, I do see one issue with that strategy, and that would be the player wouldn't know how far back to go and might go back all the way to the beginning each and every time.
In other words, only an indie dev would be crazy enough to attempt a DMC-vania? Yeah, basically. I mean, indie devs were the ones keeping the Metroidvania genre alive before Bloodstained came out and before Metroid Dread was announced. And even then, their approach wasn't just to make Metroidvanias, it was to meld it with roguelikes and with other kinds of 2D platformers.
Yeah, Rogue Legacy is quite challenging, actually. If you want, like, I actually recommend Rogue Legacy as a time killer. Well, my logic is this: you're talking about having to go back to a certain amount of rooms. The thing is, an intuitive player would be like, "Oh, I have to go back a certain amount of rooms for enemies to spawn," but they won't know how many rooms to go back. Like they might go back all the way to the beginning each and every time, not understanding the set rule is only going to happen once or twice. It's that the curiosity effect. Like let's say you have like 32 rooms in total, right? You go through 4 rooms and you gotta backtrack maybe 2 rooms. You're gonna go back to the beginning just to make sure you got everything. Then you're gonna proceed forward. Then say you have it step back every 2 rooms. The person might go from let's say room 12 all the way back to room 1. Just to make sure he got everything.
Shit, I just realized, I just popped into my head another reason why no one's really attempted a character action Metroidvania game. It's because fucking Metroidvanias are hard to do in 3D, because it's hard to model that many unique environments without resorting to copious amounts of asset reuse.
Yep. Also, this is one of my...
Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness. Part of the reason they turned out pretty underwhelming as Metroidvanias and as character action games was not just due to character action games being a fairly new genre at the time, to the point where Devil May Cry was really the only one out back then. It was because you need an insane budget to make enough environments to make a good Metroidvania. And Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness were 3D Metroidvania games made on the budget of a 2D Metroidvania.
That's one of my favorite bosses, and it's starting off, right? You know, it's still one of my favorite.
Yeah, and then it becomes a recurring mini-boss from this point on.
Yep. I think one of the main reasons I like that boss is because it uses a pole arm, and pole arms are one of my favorite types of weapons. Which are, believe it or not, samurai were known to use.
Yep, samurai were not just sword users. Hell, towards the end of the Warring States period, they abandoned swords entirely and just started using guns.
Yep. Perhaps a visual counter can be used to convey when backtracking battles will happen, like something on the HUD. That's the thing. You want to keep your HUD as clean as possible.
I mean, even then, that can be done. Metal Gear Rising gives you an audio cue for when there's backtracking battles. Like, every time there's a backtracking battle, you get a sudden, non-intrusive codec call from Boris saying, we've intercepted a call for enemy backup. You can engage if you wish.
Yeah, something like that in audio cue would work better, because you want to keep your HUD as clean as possible.
Yeah, in modern gaming, you want your HUD to be as minimalist as possible. Because it's not just aesthetically pleasing, it also doesn't overwhelm the player with too much information at once. Like, the only time it's ever acceptable to have a cluttered HUD is with MMOs, because there's so much stuff you have to keep track of in one menu that there's really no other way to go about it. And here's our first backtracking battle, speaking of.
Yeah, and they're all funneled down the hallway.
Yeah. They're all very weak enemies right here, and you don't get like a super amazing reward for it, but it's a good starter to tell you, hey, this is a thing that happens pretty regularly, so you should always keep an eye out for it. I think Metal Gear Rising handled it better by giving you like direct indications for when there's a backtracking battle, but you know, it's not handled terribly here.
Like, okay, going with that idea of the audio cue, why not have like a bird fly in, an owl, and it has a note or something? Like, it's an idea.
Because, I mean, without giving a serious answer, because, like, the serious answer is, having something like that would, once again, slow down the pacing too much.
No, I'm saying, like, you
know.
know.
But, the joke answer, you know, the funny haha answer, is because, Ocarina of Time has permanently traumatized, generations of gamers about, suddenly appearing owls.
You just reminded me of that. Holy crap. It's why I can't watch Harry Potter. Even if you don't really agree with the modern day approach to gaming HUD, it's what's widely accepted, and you have to remember you want to appease a wide as possible audience. That's going to be your main thing. Because if you don't do that, your game is going to die.
Yeah, like, it's very rare that you can make an extremely inaccessible to the normies game and still have it be popular. Like, Souls-likes in general are like the only instance where an entire genre has spawned off something that's designed to be as unfriendly to newcomers as possible, and that spreads solely due to like the internet hyping up the original Demon Souls and later Dark Souls as the hardest game ever, and then people self-imposed challenging themselves to beat it.
Well.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even know DMC 3 had you have to do a lock on to see your health. To me, that just kind of like...
You don't have to, but
and a damn who's who of Inferno comes pouring out of the inner circles. Then I can use.
You don't have to, but like, it automatically shows up during combat sections, but during the downtime, that's how you check it.
Oh, okay.
Because your health and devil trigger meter disappears when you're not actively fighting something.
Okay, I can accept that.
Take a load off.
I don't think DMC is that inaccessible for any reason besides difficulty. Yeah, Devil May Cry is not inaccessible whatsoever, especially since it has fucking difficulty select options. Most of the time triggered by doing shit at first.
Mm-hmm.
But Souls-likes are designed to be inaccessible to newcomers.
All done. He's a little rude.
And that's part of the appeal of that genre.
Be nice to him, okay?
Fun fact about the Onyx Rose's weapons here, if you read their description in the in-game encyclopedia, they don't shoot bullets. Would you like to know what they shoot?
Rose thorns?
Fairies.
They
fire fairies as projectiles.
Excuse me, why are you going to attack the Fae?
I mean, the real question is that why did they decide to weaponize Butch Hartman's creations? Because as we all know, Butch Hartman invented the concept of fairies.
He's a toxic motherfucker.
Butch Hartman, more like bitch Butch Hartman, more like bitch Hartman.
I know why. He's toxic. That's why.
Yeah.
Ooh, air dodge.
Yeah, I like that Bayonetta 2 gives you the air dodge by default. It really shouldn't be something you have to buy.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Let's see, I usually like to get the stiletto, because I tend not to use kicks as much as punches as main attacks. Stiletto and heel slide are basically the same attack, except one's a punch and one's a kick.
I think I've used both. I alternate. I don't think I've ever used breakdance before, though.
Breakdance is a good crowd control move. It's like you just hold the right trigger and you spin around while shooting.
Huh.
He really did claim he invented fairies, didn't he? Not literally, but, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled a Ken Penders and claimed to invent stuff he had fuck all to do with.
And all I would have to say is...
I mean, the dude did always introduce himself on his YouTube channel by saying, I created your childhood. I'm like, you created Fairly Odd Parents, and you came up with an elevator pitch for Danny Phantom that was later fleshed out by other people in the actual show.
Yeah, you know what my argument with that would have been? So you were animating in the 1960s with Scooby-Doo?
I mean, he did start off at Hanna-Barbera, so it's not too far off.
Okay, Flintstones. Let's go back further.
He didn't start during that age of Hanna-Barbera, but he started out when, like, before Cartoon Network Studios was founded, when the in-house animation team at Cartoon Network was Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, I'm talking about the classic old shit. Because if he wants
like,
to say...
one of the things he liked to talk about on his YouTube channel sometimes was that he and Seth MacFarlane used to work together on a lot of classic Cartoon Network shows like Johnny Bravo before leaving to start their own shows.
Yeah, my whole thing to Bush Hartman would, like, if he wants to say, I create your childhood, I'm going to start naming some old-ass, obscure shit he had no hand in. Like, hey, you wasn't part of the original Yogi Bear.
Dude, that's not obscure. If you want to go obscure, what about the fucking Hair Bears?
Yeah, I was going to say that too. There's also the Gummy Bears.
The Hair Bear bunch, as in, like, the thing that we watched that episode of Cult Tunes based on.
God, I remember that one.
Hey, Lulu, we talked about you earlier. I should be sending you that laptop within the next week or so.
The funny thing
on when I can get to the post office.
Hey, Lulu. Also, the funny thing is, remember I even said I've watched a few episodes of the Hair Bears?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The Wonderland Zoo! Oh god, what was that line that, like, instantly stood out to us from that Cult Tunes episode? Oh yeah, now I remember, because I know that Shiba-chan would definitely like this out-of-context line from Oh No, It's the Hair Bear Bunch from the episode where they accidentally become astronauts and take a rocket to an alien planet. I can't see with booby in my eyes.
Yeah. You should make that a sound.
I definitely should make that a sound alert. It's so obscure, but there's so many instances during my streams where that would be appropriate.
Oh, especially once I'm able to make the other models, you already know.
Yeah. And it's fine that you're late. I started late. So, if anything, you're right on time.
Yeah, a combination of friends, family, me with work.
I should probably equip the Onyx Roses right now.
Don't shoot out the cursed fairies.
I always equip them to the feet for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think they make good punch attacks. But they do damn well for the slower kicks.
You know why the fairies are cursed, right?
Why?
They like that Brazilian pizza. They eat it every day.
That barely qualified as pizza.
The abomination, yeah. That's their favorite thing to eat. That's why they're cursed fairies.
So what you're saying is they're just from Brazil.
Can that trust in the fairy again? What about Navi and Tatsu? Tattle.
I don't want to hear anyone... Speaking of Navi, I don't want to hear anyone say Navi is the most annoying video game character after that fucking Justin Roiland game with the talking guns and knives was shown off.
Wait, what game?
It was shown off at Gamescom. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a Borderlands-styled comedy first-person shooter where all the guns and your knife talk to you, and they never shut the fuck up. And like, it's from Justin Roiland, who's the co-creator of Rick and Morty. The game is called High on Life. Thank you. But, like, it's stuff like, the knife's, like, telling you how much he wants you to stab people, and he has an Australian accent, because haha, fucking Crocodile Dundee reference, and then it starts talking to the gun, and it's like, my god, the humor in this game is just no one shuts the fuck up, and that's the joke.
Yeah. If you don't get it, basically, there's a video about this abomination of a pizza where the guy literally tosses the dough in the air.
I've shown it off on stream before. They know what I'm talking about.
Oh. Did Lulu know about it, or?
I've shown the Brazilian pizza video on stream before. I don't know if Lulu specifically knows about it, but my general Twitch audience does.
Okay. All you need to know, Lulu, is an abomination of a pizza that should have never been made.
Like, it has fucking buffalo sauce that's extremely watery, instead of tomato sauce. It has shredded chicken that's expired on it. And, instead of regular cheese, it's like a combination of cream cheese and mayo. It's cooked on a trash fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end, it's topped with 3 green olives.
Yes. Can't go 4. 4 is too high class.
Well, you know why it's 3, right?
Because 4 is evil?
No, that's only in Japan, not Brazil.
Why?
1 for the Father, 1 for the Son, and 1 for the Holy Spirit. And yes, the place where I got that, my source for, that explanation is I made it the fuck up.
You trolled me.
Like, I don't think that High on Life's problem is... Like, I've seen people say, like, oh, you'll only like High on Life if you're a fan of Justin Roiland's humor. I've seen, like, a whole bunch of pilots that Justin Roiland made before Rick and Morty got picked up. Dude is a subversive genius. It's just, like, this is bad comedy that's not his usual style. He does use a lot of dialogue-based humor, that's true. But the joke is never just people not shutting the fuck up. And being, like, obnoxiously self-referential. Rick and Morty itself is very different from his usual humor style. That's more of Dan Harmon's writing coming in there. If you want to see a perfect example of like what unfiltered Justin Roiland humor is like, look up a series of shorts he made called Mr. Sprinkles. Or if you want something that's contained within one video so you don't have to seek out a whole bunch of shorts that are a bit harder to find now, look up a pilot he made called The Unmarketables. Hell, there was one pilot he made that almost got made if it weren't for legal issues preventing him from actually getting it to broadcast, called House of Cosby's.
Oh, yeah.
And this was before the Bill Cosby incident. It was a show satirizing Bill Cosby by presenting it as a Cosby Show parody where every member of the house is different Bill Cosby characters that Bill Cosby had played throughout his career. But Bill Cosby was like, if you make this show, we're going to fucking sue you, because I never said you can use my name and likeness.
Man, it would be... Bill Cosby is a stick in the mud. That's screaming.
Yeah. That's a detail that I like about, the giant angel mini-bosses in this game, is that despite being giant hulking brutes, they actually have pretty high-pitched voices that adds to them being pretty freaky.
Yep. So it's like, this really short goes like, hey guys, how's it going? Really big guy. Hey, how's it going, guys?
I should have been a pole dancer.
Oh yeah,
wow,
you should be
I wasn't expecting to hear that.
I didn't even know she said that.
You know, that's actually foreshadowing, because in both Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2, during the credits sequence, she does a pole dance.
Nice.
Not even like a sexy stripper pole dance, just like a choreographed pole dance.
I didn't see what you threw, sadly.
Sadly, I didn't see that either. I just heard the sound, and I am briefly going to swap controllers, because the X button on my Xbox One controller is sticking like crazy, even though I've deep cleaned it. I might just need to get a new Xbox One controller at this point, because I already broke the vibration motors while I was cleaning it.
Do you want me to see if I have any extras?
What?
Do you want me to see if I have any extras?
Please do. Right now I'm using my old wired Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah, no problem. I'll double check
that thing has a pretty big dead. It's kind of off center a little bit, so I had to adjust a huge dead zone to it in the Steam settings. So satisfying to feel the vibration while I'm playing Bayonetta. I have to remind myself that Zenny is referencing Mega Man Legends. Yeah, Mega Man Legends was one of my first games that I fell in love with, so I reference it a lot.
I just forgot I never took my socks off.
Well, to be fair, Zenny's not just a reference to Mega Man Legends. Like, my specific use of Zenny is a reference to Mega Man Legends, but the image I use for Zenny in my streams is taken from Mega Man Battle Network. And Zenny's like a catch-all currency used throughout a lot of Capcom games.
Zenny was also used in the Budokai game.
Yeah, but spelled differently there.
Yeah, I think it was Z.
And both of them are derived from like a feudal era Japanese currency called Zenny.
Yeah. Monster Hunter, yep.
Yeah, it's used in Monster Hunter pretty extensively.
Dude, I just thought of a parody of Zenny.
Yeah.
Zuni. Copyright free. You don't gotta worry about people getting angry at you for it. It's obvious what it's parodying. And you can't get sued for it.
I mean, you couldn't get sued for it anyway because it's like saying you own the copyright to dollars.
I mean, I do.
I mean, technically, Gene Simmons owns the copyright to the image of a sack of money with a dollar sign on it. I'm not even joking. He literally owns the copyright to that.
And they used it so many times in the opening of the original Tiny Toons. Montana Max's money.
Okay, you got an open, and I'm the ultimate life form. I'll give him my best shot. Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? There we go. I can't do Shadow very loud, so you'll have to deal with a little bit of ASMR for this. I own the copyright to dollars.
If only you could see my face right now. It's like, the hell you do? Like, I own the copyright.
That was what Cobalt Rogue wanted me to say is Shadow.
Cobalt, Shadow doesn't own the copyright to dollars. I own the copyright to dollars.
I mean, nothing's going to be more unironically hilarious than Shadow saying completely straight-faced in Shadow the Hedgehog, "This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me."
Can we also mention how cool it is that John did a burnout on a freaking...
I mean, don't forget that at the end of Bayonetta 1, she fucking drives the motorcycle at a vertical 90-degree angle up into space.
Yes. I mean, just doing
Fancy bumping into you.
a burnout on someone is so GTA.
Out to find some answers about your...
By the way, if Jean's voice sounds a little bit familiar, that is, if I remember correctly, it's Greta Lyle, who has been in a ton of stuff, both cartoons and video games.
Do we know each other?
You may know her as the voice of Frankie from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Mandy from Billy and Mandy, Carmelita Fox in the fourth Sly Cooper game that we don't talk about,
Depression.
Rust on me is from the lack of any real challenge.
Like, she's been in literally over 100 different roles.
Yeah,
but
she has great range.
You've already
Yeah.
disappointed me.
Especially considering that she's not naturally British, she pulls off a convincing accent.
Yeah, the funny thing is,
if I remember correctly, she's actually a Latina.
I believe she is. Like, what I mean by
considering that she often gets cast as Latina characters, like she was in Book of Life. She voiced Amanda, the leader of the Sandinistas, in Peace Walker.
This is a moment.
And of course, her take on Carmelita is very Latina sounding.
Yeah, what I was gonna say though is, like, all the voices you hear, you wouldn't really connect a lot of them.
I do seem to be having trouble.
That's what I mean by the range is crazy good.
Would you be
yeah.
so kind as to take it from
like, I've heard her enough that I can usually pick her out by hearing, like, slight tinges of her natural voice.
Jean, as heir to the clan, the time has come for you to prove your right to fight under the Umbran name. You may select opponents of your choice.
Also, slightly delving into the voice cast for Bayonetta 2. We do get a good shot at Bayonetta's mother in Bayonetta 2, and she's voiced by Bayonetta's voice actress, Helena Taylor.
It would not be the first time we faced each other.
So, it's mother and daughter, voiced by the same person talking to each other.
Will you face me in this hallowed arena?
And she manages to sound similar enough to Bayonetta to convey the familial connection, while not just sounding like a slightly altered Bayonetta.
Yeah. Something I could never do. I remember when I first played this part, I was so stuck on this fight.
Yeah, this is the part of the game where it's like, okay, you've had your fun with the tutorial stuff. Here's where we're going to actually test if you've been learning the combat mechanics.
Yeah, once I started dodging a lot more, that's how this game really told me, hey, dodge!
Yeah, something that makes Platinum's character action games stand out from, like, the sea of Devil May Cry and God of War clones is that they heavily emphasize precise dodging. Piccolo would be proud.
Yeah, like, yeah. Okay, I can't do voice acting.
Dodge!
I had some garlic knots and it went down with the wrong throat earlier during the stream. So I was coughing a lot. So I had to keep muting myself.
You had garlic knots before collaborating with the half-vampire. Is that... am I supposed to take offense to that?
No.
Are you trying to say something to me? Are you playing into old stereotypes about my race?
Bro, garlic knots are delicious as fuck.
I agree.
I have some left over if you want some.
By the time they got here, they'd probably be spoiled.
Open a time rift.
That's not my domain. That's more Dr. Frankenstein's domain. Or at least something he's experimenting with at the moment. Hasn't quite perfected it, but he's making some progress.
Okay, then more garlic knots for me. I know I'm evil. I will say one thing.
I mean, I've still got pizza left over, so I'm good as far as tasty Italian food goes. These are the enemies I told you about that I don't like. Mostly
yeah, these are worse.
Of, the shields.
These are far worse. Yeah. Do not be afraid, child.
You know, I actually like how this game depicts its angels, both in terms of like looking beautiful, like Renaissance art would depict them, but that beautiful like ceramic look to them is just an outer shell hiding these eldritch monstrosities covered in like eyes that don't belong there, which is basically how they're described to look in the Book of Revelation.
Yeah.
Like I said, they did a lot of research into folklore and mythology to come up with their designs.
I think you even told me about the angel's language.
Yeah, the language that Bayonetta speaks when she performs her summoning rituals is Enochian, which is stated in the Bible to be the language that angels speak.
Yeah, I remember you told me, this is going back a long time ago. I remember something from way back then. Did you feel honored I remember something from way, way back in the day?
Yes, I do.
Oh, this next part, I love it, but I hate it at the same time, because it is a nice challenge.
I think it's a good way of gradually ramping up the challenge.
Yeah, like, visually, I love it. and people will soon see what I mean by visually being amazing.
I also think that, this is my hot take, I think Bayonetta, with its levels mostly taking place in Purgatorio, handles the idea of, like, shape-shifting scenery that can contort and be destroyed at will. I think it handles that both visually and lore-wise better than how DMC Devil May Cry handles Limbo. Where it's like the world... In DMC Devil May Cry, it's explained that, like, Limbo is like this, like, middle-of-nowhere dimension that Dante gets sucked into conveniently for every single fucking level in the game, where it looks like the city, but it twists and contorts itself actively to prevent him from progressing. And I'm like, that's just a very, like... That's just a very flimsy justification for why your video game has very video gamey looking levels.
Yeah.
Like, visually, it looks pretty good. But eventually, it's a concept that's pretty cool. It's like, reality itself bends its will around you just to spite you, but then all that amounts to is like, oh, it looks like you're allowed to run straight, but then a pit appears, so now you have to jump over it.
Like, you know what would be a good way to solve this issue?
Not have it at all.
I was gonna say, Dante's dad, Sparta, pissed off this really, really powerful demon. So
I mean, that's literally the plot of DMC Devil May Cry.
Yeah, like, that could be
Dante's dad, Sparta, pissed off Mundus.
He pissed off a different demon, and that's why it messes and contorts with Dante, just to fuck with Dante.
Do you believe in fate?
This music right here... Okay.
By the way, Luca here is, aside from Spider-Man, Luca is my favorite character that Yuri Lowenthal's ever played. Yeah, he's just using his Sasuke voice, but he makes it work. By just like playing up the unwarranted smugness of Luca's character. Like someone who very clearly thinks he's a cool Sasuke type, but he's actually a total dweeb.
Yeah, there's also Haseo from Daihack GU.
Yeah.
That's one
of his few Sasuke voice edgelord characters that I actually like.
Yeah, I think Luca and Haseo are like my two favorite characters he voices.
Like, I don't really have... Like, I joke about Yuri Lowenthal being my arch nemesis, but that's not because he's a bad actor. It's more so that he's just kind of pigeonholed by every studio he's ever worked with into building a career out of just two voices when he has so much more range.
Yeah.
Like, he's a master at pulling off convincing foreign accents, if you've heard some of the bit part characters he's played in the Assassin's Creed Ezio trilogy. Or his role as I can't remember his name, but the medieval Europe ancestor of Sly Cooper. He pulls off a really good accent there.
Arthur, I think?
No, it's not Arthur.
No.
It's not Sir Robin Cooper, because that was a planned character that was scrapped.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about, because that's the level where we found that Penelope was a Black Knight and such.
Yeah, that was the point where the game lost me.
Yeah, that was, like, too left field. Not even left field. Basically,
it's a plot twist for the sake of having a plot twist, even if it derails an entire character arc.
Yeah. It would have made more sense if she was, like, brainwashed and have her rejoin the group as a way to kind of...
One of the things that goes to show that sometimes the early plans are better than the final plans was that the Black Knight in that level was originally not supposed to be Penelope, but they decided to make it Penelope just because they thought it would have a bigger emotional impact.
Chasing fairy tales.
Yeah, like if they really wanted Penelope to be the Black Knight, have her be brainwashed. That would have been perfect, you know? Because then, hey, you knocked her out of her mind control, and she wants to redeem herself. Like the group all trust her and everything, but she feels really bad for turning on the group, you know?
To the air the day my father was murdered.
Night, Cobalt.
Which means
Night, dude.
on your doorstep.
Speaking of disappointing stuff from the last Sly Cooper game, you know that terrible fucking cliffhanger it ends on? Where Sly is sent back in time to ancient Egypt with no way to get back home?
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a DLC chapter that follows up on that cliffhanger, but then Sanzaru Games, the developers of Sly Thieves in Time, were just like, nah, we don't feel like it.
And the fans want it so bad.
We would rather make Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal.
Cringe.
And the reason why there hasn't been a new Sly Cooper game since then is because, like, Sucker Punch was busy for the longest time working on the infamous series, and then Ghost of Tsushima. So that just left Sanzaru as the ones to pick up the reins, and Sanzaru was just like, we don't feel like making a Sly Cooper 5. So it's just Sly Cooper's dead because no one wants to... No studio will step up and make a new Sly Cooper. Which is ironic, because the whole reason Sly 4 happened was because Sanzaru were big fans of the Sly Cooper franchise and wanted to make a Sly 4 because Sucker Punch had no interest in it.
I want to know how Sly gets back. We just need our conclusion. Even if it's a quick, like, 40-minute animation. We must know. So let me ask you this: what in this game? What is one of your favorite bosses or boss turn mini boss?
I mean, there's only really one boss turn mini boss in this whole game, which is the giant guys. But my favorite boss in the game, apart from the final battle with Jubileus, is probably God, I can't remember all the cardinal virtues names. I think it's either Justicia or Temperantia. I can't remember which, but the one that you fight on the ocean.
That's the one that gets a tanker thrown at it, right?
But you can't escape me forever.
No, that's the one with, like, the detached floating arms that it's the second of the cardinal virtues that you fight. The one I'm talking about is the final cardinal virtue that you fight.
Okay. I know when I see it, because it's been so long since I played it.
Like, the one I'm talking about is the one that you finish off by feeding it to a demonic spider.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It's just like, the last time I played Bayonetta, I was in high school still. No.
Yeah.
I was not in high school. I was...
Bayonetta came out originally in, I think, 2009?
I was out of high school for 2 years. So I was like 20.
I was in high school at that point. Literally, the only reason I picked up Bayonetta in the first place, funnily enough, was thanks to Screw Attack, of all things.
I think I picked it up based on a recommendation from a friend.
Like, I had not heard of Bayonetta until I saw, like, I can't remember what Screw Attack video it was, but it was them talking about, like, sexy female characters, and one of them they talked about was Bayonetta, and they were going on about how sexy she is. I was like, I'm a horny teenager, I want to play this. I might see boobies in it.
Bruh.
And then it turned out that Bayonetta is more concerned with ass than titties. Which, you know, fair.
Yeah, like, don't forget to... dude, I was like 20, and I'm like, I'm a 20-year-old horny man. So it still works.
Okay, I've gotten everything here. I like this because you can see the gate close just as you're getting there, and that area is actually explorable. It has a portal in there that leads to a bonus challenge.
Yeah, that
but you can only get there once the tram crashes and, like, knocks down the gate. Right here.
Yeah, the first tram always scares the crap out of me.
Also, these wheel angels right here are derived from an actual thing described in the Bible, which is like a specific kind of angel that appears in the form of a flaming wheel.
These are also in Final Fantasy, believe it or not.
They're also in Okami.
Yeah, I don't like these wheel fire monsters.
Which is also a game directed by Hideki Kamiya, who created Bayonetta and Devil May Cry and Beautiful Joe. There's even some Beautiful Joe references in Bayonetta's moveset and in the opening graveyard scene. The opening graveyard scene, you can see a gravestone for someone named Joe, who's described as the Red Hot Hero.
Oh!
And the Afterburner kick that I bought for Bayonetta, right there, is just Joe's Red Hot kick.
Okay. Yeah, when you said Joe, the first thing that came to mind wasn't Beautiful Joe, but it was Joe Mama. Yes, the internet has ruined me.
One of my favorite bits of lore that Beautiful Joe added not to its own series, but to another series, is that Dante's campaign in the PS2 version of Beautiful Joe canonizes that the reason Dante acts so out of character in Devil May Cry 2 is because it was actually Enzo impersonating Dante. And this was before Bayonetta was a thing, so this was referring to the Devil May Cry Enzo, who is, like, tongue-in-cheek canonically supposed to be the same Enzo. Because there's some concept art for Enzo for Bayonetta 1 that shows him beating Dante at a game of poker and winning his clothes, which is Hideki Kamiya's headcanon reason for why Dante dresses differently in Devil May Cry 2 and why he acts like a completely different character. Like, obviously, it's not canon to the main series, but it's still cool to think about.
Yeah.
This one always gives me trouble because there's, like, a specific pattern of attacks you're supposed to do against it, but I can never remember what it is.
I think you're doing better this round, at least.
Yeah, but it gives you limited punches and kicks. And it gives you a time limit. It's easier to do if you backtrack here with some of the later weapons, but I'd like to do it as early as possible, so I don't have to backtrack. At the very least, I can slowly grind halos here, because, something the game doesn't really tell you is, points you score from, long combos, get converted into halos, when the combo is over.
Huh.
So there's another, incentive to get the best combos you can. Now I remember the combo you're supposed to spam to beat this fight, but I figured it out too late. It's punch, like you're supposed to hold after each punch and every kick, because that adds your guns into it. To deal extra damage, which is what really gets you over this.
I didn't know that.
See, like right there, with just 4 hits, I've taken out like a quarter of his life bar.
Yeah.
And now I fucked myself. And it didn't even have a satisfying climax.
Oh, the multiple puns in that.
Yep. It's a multi-layered innuendo, and you can shove that in your endo.
I'll crush it in my endo. I just realized too, this battle theme makes me think of Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay, I got the combo wrong. It's just punch kick kick. That's what it was.
Ah.
I think. I can't remember. I would have to look up a video on it, and I can't do that on stream. No, it's not punch kick kick, because that instantly sends you plummeting. Oh, I've got the... I can't believe I forgot I have the witch twist. I can just do that. I can do that if I don't, like, keep fucking up my dodges.
Someone says first dodge at the right time the enemy attacks, so you enter which time. Hold Y, after that hold B, and then Y, hold Y, again hold Y.
That doesn't work with this weapon loadout.
Oh, that's probably why.
Because your combos change depending on what weapons you have equipped.
Yeah, let me see. Bayonetta will shoot with her hands, holding Y, and then when you press B, she'll start shooting with her legs, and then for the last Y again, she'll use her demonic hair legs to finish the combo.
Yeah, that's not even a combo that you can do with this loadout.
Yes, I wonder what loadout they're talking about. I mean, at least I tried looking it up. You know what? Which time you should do?
Increase damage, because it does.
No, I was gonna say slow down the actual timer.
It does.
Oh. Oh, the timer's going about the same speed.
It's a very minor slowdown, but it's noticeable. I'm working on this. I'm making progress. I find the challenges in Bayonetta 2 to be a little bit better. Because they don't, like, stonewall you with something like this early on.
Yeah. Why does he look like, I don't know why he's saying, Galileo, but, one of the famous philosophers...
Galileo!
Ooh, doesn't he look like one of the famous philosophers, like Plato, maybe?
Yeah. That's probably intentional.
Yeah. Like... I think it actually is Plato. Hold on, let me take a look, actually. Oh my gosh, it is Play-Doh. Oh my gosh, that is Play-Doh.
Nice.
Dude, I know my philosophers. Not well, but hey, I at least know my philosophers.
Okay, I think I've got this finally figured out. I know I've said that before, but this time for real. This time for real. 3 days later.
He's trying to do Donkey Kong's forward smash.
Part of the reason I don't like this challenge is because sometimes the AI just doesn't cooperate.
Yeah.
I don't even have to be doing aerial attacks to deal that much damage to him. I've been wasting so much time every time I played this in the past.
Oh, look, there's a question.
What that orb do? It's a weak point.
I figured it'd be kind of a little bit of a chuckle, ha ha ha, you know? But isn't there something special about Bayonetta's lollipops?
Yes. What about them? Other than the fact that they add to her seductive charm.
I was gonna say, like, what are they made out of? Has it ever been disclosed?
I mean, you can craft them as healing items, so there is an in-canon explanation for what they're made out of. But we at the very least know that the red ones are strawberry flavored.
Ooh. The green ones are probably sour apple.
I mean, Bayonetta likes, she likes sweet stuff more than she likes sour stuff, so I could see those being, not sour apple, but just more of an apple flavor.
Maybe. The reason I say sour apple because
or maybe, maybe watermelon.
No, I would say watermelon. I've had like the watermelon ones. They actually look like watermelon. They're like green.
Yeah, but
actual,
they can't use red twice because they're color coded as power ups.
So like the outside is green, both green spots. I'll see if I can find the picture later on. But I distinctly remember having this when I was a kid. But the reason I say sour apple, because it starts off sour and then gets sweet. Almost.
I got it. We just need to hit him really, really hard.
That's nice. That's how something my dad would say.
I'm glad you understood that reference.
Dude, I legitimately watched that bridge thing like a week ago. I am not even shitting you. I literally watched it.
It's so cool that like more and more people are discovering Dragon Ball Z Abridged like years later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what caused its resurgence, but it's cool that it's happening.
Harder, Daddy! What? No. My name is
that's
Daddy.
my name. It's actually pronounced Daddy. Daddy! Okay, that one was what you think it is.
Yeah. And of course, you already know what my favorite line is.
If you want to see like one of the best things that Team 4 Star's ever done, look at their marathon stream where they watched all of the Team 4 Star Dragon Ball Z Abridged movies and OVAs that they ever did, with commentary from Lani, Kaiser, and Takahata.
Yeah.
Not only is it amazing because it goes on for 6 hours straight, not only is it amazing because you get some behind-the-scenes peeks at like the writing process and the thought process behind some of the writing decisions that they made. Not only do you get to hear some of their opinions on like what their favorite stuff to work on those movies was, and some stuff they would have changed, and stuff they regret doing entirely. But it's also amazing because It was a charity stream.
Nice. Let me ask you this.
It was a charity stream back in 2020 to raise money to help the Red Cross with the California wildfires. And they ended up breaking their charity goal right when the stream started.
Lord have mercy.
Their goal was $5,000. By the end of the stream, they had made over $20,000.
Nice. What I was gonna say though, what is your favorite part of the first abridged Broly movie?
You mean the only Broly abridged movie they did?
Yeah.
Vegeta being a Broly fanboy.
Oh
my god,
cool.
he's so cool! But he's so dumb!
But he's so cool! My favorite line was Trunks. Goku, you lied to me. You dirty girl. Oh, dirty boy.
Dirty boy. Goku, get me the hell off this planet, please! Instant transmission!
And he just gets blasted just get rammed into a building.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're neglecting something. Broly's wife?
I am the one who killed Frieza. That's hot.
So it is, so from the abridged series, it's canon that Broly is bi.
I think it's more so that he's into femboys.
Oh my god, dude, no. Bi! Oh, Broly, think about it.
Oh fuck, if only they had gotten that far.
Dude, that would have been perfect.
Then again, Bio Broly is like it's barely a Broly movie at all.
Yeah, dude, majority of Broly fans hate it. Dragon Ball Z fans in general. There was no need for it.
There was no need for Broly's second coming. He's like even less of a character in that than he was in the original.
Second coming.
Like, he literally only has one line of dialogue that's not just him saying Kakarot.
Also, what he punches or kicks Videl. Videl should be dead.
Yeah.
And I'm going to include Goten and Trunks should also be dead by that logic.
Yeah, because even though they're half Saiyan, so they're physically stronger than humans, they're not like that strong at that point.
Exactly. So that's why I know the movies aren't canon for obvious reasons, but that definitely tells you why the movies aren't canon.
Like, there's also the fact that it's an inherently disappointing premise. Yeah, Broly's back and he's still alive, but since Goku's fucking not there in this movie, at least physically, like, what's the point?
Exactly. You know what movie is probably my favorite though that they worked on?
What?
The
apart from Battle of Gods and Resurrection F and
no, it was for the
Super Broly.
abridged. For the abridged stuff.
For abridged?
Yeah, World's Strongest.
World's Strongest is helped by just being one of the best Dragon Ball pieces of media ever.
Yeah, it genuinely is one of the better movies also.
It feels like a perfect transition from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I also kind of like Did Zone as a guilty pleasure. Because Gohan technically
fun.
is high.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't get high. He gets
Drunk.
high in the Team 4-star version, but in the original, he gets drunk.
I'm cool either way.
Don't eat that apple. I'm gonna eat the apple. Don't eat that apple. I'm gonna eat the apple.
Dude, that apple when it crunches too, it sounds so fucking delicious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Forget the fact of the alcohol content, and I want to eat that apple.
One of my favorite things in Dragon Ball Z Abridged movies specifically is how the movies are the only time Icarus ever appears in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and every time he either dies or, in Christmas Tree of Might's case, they say, like, however, due to being a filler character, he was not allowed to keep him.
Yeah.
Like, Team 4 Star makes it known how much they hate Icarus, and, like, I don't have a problem with Icarus, but completely pointless filler character.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Working me to the bone, but no need to pity me.
My favorite thing they've ever done was the Garlic Jr. saga.
Whip some things.
Oh, man.
How they did the entire saga in one episode, and stopped it before it really started. All because they pissed off Mr. Popo.
Yeah. Oh, man. Seriously, the other thing I like is when Krillin was pitching the first movie. Like, why did you get pissed on the head?
The real question is, how much will you pay me to get pissed on?
Solid. Now, go.
Like, I like your vibes.
I like your vibes.
Oh man, I would have loved to have seen how they would have done the Nappa guy from the Gohan arc when he's like the Gold Fighter, or he's a Saiyaman still. Excuse me,
Saiyaman, yeah.
Yeah, this is before the Gold Fighter. I mean, after the Gold Fighter part. But when they were robbing the mayor or some shit like that.
It's been a while since I've seen the Boo saga.
Yeah, it's like the first 7 episodes, I want to say.
Like, when I say it's been a while since I saw the Boo saga, I mean, last time I saw it was when it was airing for the first time on Toonami in the afternoons.
Same here. I'm just a big nerd.
So sorry, I think you mean nerd!
What?
There's an old video that used to be on Team 4 Star's channel that they've sadly taken down for some reason, where they got Scott McNeil to say nerd as Piccolo.
Oh god. And I'm not missing a beat with all the Team 4 Star references either.
The only ones you won't be hearing from me for the time being are Machina Bridge and Helsing Ultimate Bridge, because I haven't seen either of them.
I see. There are some things that have not aged well in Helsing Bridge, but still a good watch. I will simply just say
that hasn't aged well in Dragon Ball Z Abridged from the very first episode.
Yeah. I know what stuff we're talking about.
Like, they've done 2 separate rewatches of episode 1. And at both times, they've commented on how the very first piece of dialogue in all of Dragon Ball Z Abridged was the farmer saying, "Oh no, my marijuana patch!"
Yeah, I still laugh at that. It's stupid, but yeah.
Like, of all jokes you could start off the series with, it's a haha, drugs are funny joke.
Yeah. It's lowbrow, but for some reason it's still funny.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I can admit it's lowbrow, you know?
As far as lowbrow jokes they've made that they actively regret that don't involve using terminology that's now considered offensive slurs, there was, like, Krillin's very first line in Dragon Ball Z Abridged being, "Boobs! I mean Bulma!"
Yep. And Yamcha's first line.
Yeah.
The introduction to Yamcha, they did Yamcha more dirty than Funimation.
Well, technically, Yamcha's introduction was him fucking Poir.
Yep.
Remember?
I mean,
Because, no, I mean, like, it was when Bulma says Yamcha's been cheating on her, and then it shows the flashback of her coming across Yamcha in the middle of having sex with Poir.
Yep.
That was Yamcha's introduction in Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that whole thing is... They did him dirty.
Yeah. But then again, when has Yamcha ever been able to do anything good or useful?
When you had that nosebleed in Dragon Ball.
And that's what makes it so satisfying in Dragon Shorts when it turns out that he has a happy ending with his baseball career.
Yep.
Like, yeah, he gets fired from the team, but he gets so rich that he never has to worry about being poor again.
Mm-hmm. Truth be told, all Yamcha has to do, because Yamcha could honestly be pretty strong, almost as strong as Krillin, if he applied himself better.
Yeah. Problem with Yamcha is that he just isn't that interested in being like a world-protecting fighter.
Yeah, like even like Tien is strong. Like
yeah, because Tien was raised as a martial artist by the training school.
Well, I mean, in terms of between modern day Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Super, I know you haven't seen all the Super. You would think Tien would be stronger. No, Krillin is stronger. I love Krillin because of that.
It's still impressive because, like, Krillin got as strong as he is not just through training, but also because, remember, he had his potential unlocked by Guru.
Yeah.
Tien never got that. He just got that strong sheerly through training.
Not only that, you get to remember as well, how many times has Krillin fought and trained against Goku? And Gohan, matter of fact, and Piccolo. Some of the strongest people in the entire franchise. And to be as strong as he is, you know? Like, there's some serious respect on that.
For all the jokes that people like to make about Krillin being the universe's bitch, he at least nailed the hottest girl in Dragon Ball history.
Exactly. And had a kid by her.
Yeah.
And legitimately is, out of all the pure human characters, is the strongest human on Earth.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about him. Like, seriously, I want to know how strong Tien would be if he ever got his potential unlocked. Because Tien would be crazy strong. Still, like, nowhere near Goku or Gohan. Potentially strong as Piccolo, maybe?
I doubt it. Because Piccolo, remember, he got huge power boosts by fusing with Nail and then with Kami.
Yeah. But I really want to know more about if Tien was to get his potential unlocked. How strong he would be. Because remember, Gohan had a portion of his potential unlocked by Guru.
Yeah.
And it took old Kai to fully unlock it.
Yeah.
Which goes to show you how how great Gohan's potential was and how good it was forecast.
Yeah, but then that's immediately undermined by, like, Toriyama's whole, I don't mean this as, like, shit-slinging against Toriyama, but he likes to, play things very fast and loose and not plan things very far ahead, which leads to many instances of him writing himself into a corner and then having to bullshit his way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's clearly what happened with Gohan towards the end of the Buu arc, where it's like, oh god, now he's the strongest fighter in the universe. He's obviously going to win against Super Buu, and then there's going to be no grand finale.
Yeah, there was such great potential for Gohan to be set up to be like beyond awesome.
You know, out of all the more obvious jokes that people make about Dragon Ball Z stuff, no one asks the real questions about Dragon Ball Z What Ifs, and you know what that is? If Goku and Gohan had successfully done the Potara fusion like they originally planned before Gohan fucking missed grabbing the earring and fucked everything up, what would that fusion be called? Would it be called Goku or Gohan?
What about Gokhan? Actually, that would work. Actually, that sounds really close to Ryu's Master's Goken.
Spelled differently.
I'm saying it sounds close.
It also would be pronounced differently if you were using like proper Japanese accents and dialect.
Yeah.
There would be more stress on the O. Like, if you want to be, like, 100% accurate to your pronunciation, it wouldn't, Goken's name wouldn't be pronounced like Goken. It would be Goken.
She's like, you stole my money.
By the way, one of my favorite fan fusions to come out of, like, the fan art circle and very specific parts of the fan art circle, Bolchi.
Oh, God.
One of the most blurst things to come out of Potara fusions.
I was going to say, one of my favorite things were the joke fusions in the Budokai series.
I mean, apart from the joke fusions in Budokai 2.
But some of those were actually good.
Tiencha, Gokul.
Yeah. And they gave them really unique movesets, which was a nice little touch.
Yeah, because they gave you special moves that were combinations of each character's iconic attacks.
Yeah. Like, the way they did it, like, you could tell they put a lot of heart and soul into it.
Yeah, and then they just never did it again.
Yeah, I mean, one of the 10 games, you got Super Saiyan 3 Broly.
That was in Raging Blast.
Yeah, Raging Blast, there we go.
Raging Blast 2.
Which was an interesting concept. But I know
that because I borrowed it from one of my friends in college once. And unlocked every character. That's also the only way that the Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans OVA has been officially released in English. It wasn't dubbed, it was just subtitled, but it's a bonus feature on Raging Blast 2. And watching it unlocks Hachiyak as a playable character.
Oh! I never knew that.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans also.
Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans is a weird one to watch because there's technically 2 completely different versions of it. 3 if you count the FMV game version released for the Bandai Playdia system. Like, Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans has a very weird history. Not just in terms of being an OVA, but, like, the reason it exists. I'll give you the rundown, okay?
Okay.
Some of the first Dragon Ball Z video games were turn-based card battle RPGs for the Famicom.
Okay.
And, they adapted, like, the main story of Dragon Ball Z across 3 games. They then made, another, turn-based card battle RPG game for the Famicom, that had a wholly original story called Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans. Later, they adapted, that Famicom game into an OVA. Not one of the full Dragon Ball Z movies, but just like a 30-minute OVA.
Okay.
That OVA was then adapted with extra footage into a sort of choose-your-own-adventure FMV game for a failed Bandai home console called the Playdia. It has some exclusive forms of Hachiaki in it that are not in any other version.
Okay.
And then, in the, like, late 2000s, early 2010s, when we were finally starting to get new animated Dragon Ball material, they made a completely reanimated version of Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans, which is the one that's included in Raging Blast 2, called Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans.
Oh.
And that's the version that Team 4-Star did their final abridged movie of. With Plan to Eradicate Christmas. And as a joke, in the part where Santa in that movie, in that
oh,
Christmas
the Spine
special,
Continuum.
Yeah, and it briefly shifts to, like, lower quality video footage. It's briefly switching to the 90s OVA.
Nice.
Like, Kaiser Neko was the perfect person to do the directing and editing for Dragon Ball Z Abridged, because he has, like, a fucking encyclopedic knowledge of the most obscure Dragon Ball stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Like, you want to know a perfect example of really obscure Dragon Ball references that, have appeared in Dragon Ball Z Abridged? You know the voice that Oolong has once Kaiser starts voicing him from Cooler's Revenge onwards?
Yeah.
That's an impression of how Oolong sounded in the short-lived Harmony Gold dub of Dragon Ball.
Oh, the one where Goku was Zero?
Yes.
That's
how Oolong sounded in that dub.
Yeah, I seen one of the Harmony where
it was considered lost. It was considered lost media until, like, the past couple of years. All that was available for the longest time was the compilation movies that they briefly released on VHS, but had been out of print and out of common circulation for a long time. But the TV broadcasts that they did as a test broadcast in, like, very specific California markets to test and see whether they would produce the full series has been found.
Nice. 'Cause I want to see the rest of the Harmony Gold stuff.
Another thing that's a reference to the Harmony Gold dub is, you know that throwaway joke where Krillin says that he doesn't want to go visit Korin because because he embarrassed himself by accidentally referring to him as Whiskers the Wonder Cat.
Yeah.
That was Corrin's name in the Harmony Gold dub.
Oh, God. Corrin is technically a lesser god. Like, what the heck?
Like, well, part of that is because the Harmony Gold dub was heavily censored. So, they removed, like, any references to, like, deities and demons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because this was, like, 80s when they were trying to dub it. They couldn't get away with that on kids' TV back then.
Yeah.
But, like, there's a clip of it that you can find where, like, Goku, or should I say Zero, as he's called in that dub, like, talks about how weird it is to meet a talking cat, and asks him what his name is, and Corrin's like, I've been called many names. My favorite was Whiskers the Wonder Cat.
I still need to see the found footage of the live-action Sailor Moon.
I still need to watch that, too. It wasn't just live action. It was a live-action animation hybrid. Like, it was an animated show, but it had live-action music video segments.
We should just watch it together. Call it a day, right?
Yeah, we can make that a watch-along on stream, since it's free for everyone to view on YouTube with no copyright attached to it.
Oh.
Who's there?
Like, the company that made that specific adaptation has been out of business for a long-ass time.
Yeah, when we watched it, let me get popcorn.
And, like, yeah, that's definitely going to be something we do. We could do, just a night of watching, like, failed pilots.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. You know Bubsy's gonna be my recommendation.
Bubsy, Sailor Moon,
What are you doing running around, Vic?
there's plenty of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon pilots that we could go through, like, Constant Pain, the Modifiers,
Oh, I like the Modifiers.
what else was there?
That's what I did there.
Kitty Bobo was a good one. Kenny and the Chimp.
Oh, the one that started Kids Next Door. And and out of that, we still ended up getting Professor Extra Triple Large.
Yeah, there's Whoop-Ass Stew, which was a student film that later morphed into the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, what about the one that started Colt Lyoko, the Garage Kids?
I haven't seen that.
It's like 30 seconds.
I haven't seen that, but that might still be copyrighted.
Oh.
And that's a European series, so I don't know, like, how French copyright law would apply to that.
I have no idea. I was watching Jordan French's video. I still need to finish the rest of it. But yeah, a lot of that stuff I forgot. Like how they found out her name was Alita and not Mia. Like, there was so much I forgot.
Code Lyoko was weird to watch here in America because they very clearly aired the series out of order when it aired on Miguzi.
Yeah, not only that, they did a lot of censoring because you know how the French are a lot more laid back with, like, underwear and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this.
Like, it still pushed a lot of boundaries for a daytime Cartoon Network series.
Yes. Let me just say, I love the push-out shot, though. I love that. You think you're fighting in a church, but nope.
Yeah.
Like that.
Bayonetta gets really creative with its set pieces. I love that.
Like, this is honestly amazing in terms of, like, spectacle.
And it gets more over the top in Bayonetta 2, but I'd actually argue it's less impressive in Bayonetta 2. Because, like, when everything's constantly over the top, you kind of grow numb to it.
Yeah. Like this one right here with the you being lifted. It's a nice subtle over the top where it's not like too crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, I did not expect this. Ooh, good shot.
I usually try to aim for headshots because those are one-hit kills that also give you 5 points.
Seriously, you got 2 of them. Nice. 2 of the special ones.
Yeah. I think I'll go for... You know what? I'll just exchange them for halos. Make a quick stop by the gates of hell, and then I'll call it a night. Because I started way later than I wanted to.
Why did you want to go to Texas?
To visit Cal, of course.
How much you ask? I'm not putting a change.
Wait, it was at Florida.
So what do you want?
That's Cal. Cal's in Texas.
No. I was talking about Gates of Hell. Is it Florida or is it Texas? Because the gate keeps moving. No, really, that's a good question. Like, where are the Gates of Hell located? Texas or Florida?
I mean, technically, that's not the real Gates of Hell. Remember, Bayonetta 2 shows you where the actual portal to Hell is. This is just a bar called the Gates of Hell.
Yeah.
And the Bayonetta movie, which some elements of that ended up becoming canon in Bayonetta 2, establishes that the Gates of Hell bar is like a pocket dimension.
I remember you told me about that.
Yeah. And with that, I'm calling it a night. Thank you very much for joining me, Kier.
Oh, that's no problem, dude. Before you go, there's something I gotta tell you, though.
Timing on that was a little bit off, but I appreciate it.
No problem.
Let's quit out of this. Online, so we can do our customary raid. I really need to hit people up on Twitter to build like a raid list of like up-and-coming VTubers. So I don't have to like actively search out randos.
Yeah, what I've been seeing, people have been asking other VTubers for their Twitch links. So that might be something.
Yeah, I did that, but I have like 0 reach on Twitch, so I got no responses. The only time I get any reach on Twitch is when Nade sees something from me that's like he thinks is particularly funny or cool, so he retweets it, and that gets to his much more impressive following. No one really small is online on my regulars, which makes sense because it's almost 2 in the morning. So it's time to play the rando game.
Yep. I believe we have a heat advisory for today.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, record high, but no advisories. At least yet.
There's someone that's playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Let's surprise them.
Ooh.
See you at Senpai VTuber. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I won't be streaming tonight because I'm going to be very busy. But I'll see you as soon as I can. And as always, unpleasant dreams.
Have a good night, guys.